Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Emily. Today we're wading into the ever-shifting currents surrounding the British royal family. We've looked at quite a bit of information, really trying to understand the recent developments, especially with Prince William and Princess Kate and, what that all might mean for where the monarchy is heading. It's a subject that fascinates so many, and our goal here is really to pull out the key things you need to know.
It's definitely a crucial time for them. A lot of factors are coming together right now.
Absolutely. And to help us make sense of it all, we're really pleased to have James Thornton with us. James is a well-known royal correspondent, also a historian, and the author of the really insightful book, The Crown in the 21st Century. James, a very warm welcome, and a big thank you to you for tuning into Westferry Times.
Thanks, Emily. It's great to be here.
Okay, let's dive straight in then. Prince William and Princess Kate. Their health, understandably, has been front and center. So here we are, April 2025. Princess Kate's still recovering from that abdominal surgery she had earlier in the year. And then, of course, the news came out about her cancer diagnosis and the preventative chemotherapy she's undergoing. What really stands out, I think, is that balance they're trying to strike, needing privacy, which is totally understandable, but also giving these, quite sincere public updates.
And what was really interesting, I thought, was how the princess shared her diagnosis. That personal video message she released, it really struck a chord. It felt very personal, very genuine, but also like quite modern in its approach.
Yeah.
It allowed for a certain openness while still sort of drawing a line around her personal space.
It really did feel different from maybe how things might have been handled in the past. And at the same time, we've seen Prince William stepping up his public duties quite noticeably, more charity events, diplomatic things, and really pushing forward with his environmental work, especially with Earthshot. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Because King Charles is dealing with his own health issues, there's this growing sense, isn't there, that William and Kate are really becoming the key figures for the monarchy's future.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the broader context, Emily, you can see this subtle but clear positioning. The Prince and Princess of Wales are being presented more and more as the future core of the crown. Nothing's formally changed, of course, but William's higher profile, the kind of duties he's taking on, it definitely suggests a plan for, long-term stability. For example, his increased work on Commonwealth matters, that's traditionally been very much the monarch's area. It kind of signals he's being prepared for that global leadership role down the line.
Right.
And speaking of King Charles, let's touch on his health situation. We know he's having treatment for cancer. They haven't specified the type, but he's kept working behind the scenes. And his public appearances, they're starting to increase again, but cautiously. It's quite something, isn't it? The monarch and the future queen consort, both dealing with serious health challenges at the same time.
It really is unprecedented in recent memory. It just highlights how reliant the institution is on the health of just a few key people. And the fact that they're managing this, with a degree of visible resilience, it says a lot about how adaptable they need to be. While we haven't seen this exact situation recently, with both being ill concurrently, there have been times further back where multiple senior royals face health issues, but the media glare was just completely different then. And we are seeing the practical effects of this, aren't we? Like you said, no formal change, no regency or anything, but there's clearly a sort of functional shift happening. Prince William is increasingly the main senior royal out there doing public duties. He's being given responsibilities that touch on, constitutional things, military links, even areas close to foreign policy.
Exactly. And if you think about it, this period really throws into relief the evolving nature of what royal duty actually means today. William stepping up provides that continuity, that reassurance when things feel a bit uncertain. And it also gives us perhaps a peek into the kind of leadership style we might expect from him in the future, maybe more hands-on across a wider range of things, even before he actually becomes king.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit now and think about public feeling. What are our sources telling us about how people see the royal family in 2025? It seems like there's a real split depending on age.
Yes, Emily, that comes through very clearly in the polling data this year. It's quite consistent, actually. Older Britons generally still hold a pretty positive view. But younger groups, millennials, Gen Z, they're definitely more questioning, more likely to ask if the whole institution is really necessary anymore. Our data suggests younger people, they grew up with a different media landscape, maybe less deferential, and there's a bigger focus on social justice. So they tend to be more critical of things like inherited privilege and the cost.
And this kind of reassessment, it feels like it really picked up pace after Queen Elizabeth II died, didn't it? Her long reign, it provided this incredible stability, this link to tradition that maybe sort of masked some deeper questions about the monarchy's role now. That now it feels like the big question isn't just who the royals are, but more fundamentally, why do we need them?
And that's the crucial point, isn't it? What is the core purpose in a modern democracy? You've got the symbolism, the history, the unity aspect. But that's all being weighed against, well, cost, privilege, accountability. Ultimately, I think for the monarchy to thrive, it needs to show it offers real value beyond just tradition, maybe through more impactful charity work or, being part of national discussions on important issues.
Our sources suggest overall support is still around, what, 60%? But it's definitely softened a bit, especially outside England. So with that backdrop, the image of William and Kate becomes even more vital, wouldn't you say? They often come across as, well, more relatable, committed to duty, and generally seen as apolitical.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is how much the monarchy's future stability might rest on their shoulders. They need to embody those traditional values, yes. But also, crucially, they need to kind of nudge the institution forward, make it resonate with a wider public. They have to keep showing they're relevant, that their purpose goes beyond just, cutting ribbons.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly to the media. There was a lot of heat, wasn't there, about how some press outlets covered Princess Kate's health, lots of rumors, conspiracy theories flying around, and then quite a backlash online against the media itself.
Yeah, that period really highlighted the ongoing friction between the royals and the press. It never really goes away, does it? And the way misinformation just exploded online showed how incredibly difficult it is to control the story in this digital age.
So has this maybe led to a rethink in how the royals handle the media? We saw that direct video message from Kate. They seem more active on their official social media, maybe relying less on the old press briefings. It feels like the palace wants more direct control over the message.
Well, it's a very understandable reaction, isn't it? If you speak directly to the public through your own channels, you can sidestep some of the potential for spin or sensationalism you might get elsewhere. It's about trying to get your own authentic message out there and, yeah, keep a tighter grip on the narrative. Makes sense.
Now, what about Prince Harry and Meghan? Where did they fit into the picture in 2025? Our sources seem to suggest they're pretty much on the periphery now in terms of official royal duties.
Yes, that's broadly correct. Their roles have changed dramatically since they stepped back. You see Harry occasionally, like with the Invictus Games, which he's obviously still very passionate about, and Meghan has her media projects and other ventures. But in terms of day-to-day royal work, it's minimal.
And the relationship with the rest of the family still seems quite tense and mostly kept private. Do we get any sense of whether things might thaw out in the future?
Um, well, you can never say never, of course. But right now, the focus from the palace seems very much on the working royals. And honestly, the public appetite for more sort of drama around Harry and Meghan seems to have died down quite a bit too.
Okay, shifting focus again internationally. How is the monarchy viewed outside the UK, especially within the Commonwealth? It seems like a mixed bag.
It's definitely a picture in flux. You've got concrete moves towards becoming republics in some places, Jamaica most recently. And those conversations are happening in other Caribbean nations too. Then in countries like Australia and Canada, the king's role is really increasingly symbolic, not much constitutional heft anymore. But then you have the other side, the soft power aspect. Royal tours, particularly William and Kate's, they still get huge international attention. It's a bit of a paradox.
It is a bit strange, isn't it? The formal ties might be loosening, but the kind of cultural fascination and the potential PR boost from a royal visit, that still seems to count for something.
Exactly. It feels like the international role is becoming more about cultural diplomacy and less about constitutional links.
So looking ahead then, the next 5, 10 years, what are the signs pointing towards for the monarchy? Sounds like maybe some significant changes could be coming.
Well, the general direction seems to be towards a leaner operation, a more focused core group of working royals. That likely means fewer royals funded by the public purse, probably more focus on, value for money, maybe more transparency about finances too.
And perhaps a shift in tone as well. Less of the traditional pomp, maybe. More emphasis on things like mental health, the environment causes the younger royals seem keen on. It sounds like a kind of necessary evolution to stay relevant, really.
Precisely. The ability to adapt to align the monarchy's public face and its purpose with what society values now, that's going to be absolutely vital for its future. This potential move towards being, smaller, more cost-effective, more focused on contemporary issues, that could be the key to navigating the rest of the 21st century.
James, this has been incredibly insightful, really helped to unpack the headlines and the deeper trends. Thank you so much for sharing all your expertise with us today on the deep dive.
It's been my pleasure, Emily. It's certainly never a dull subject to discuss and always changing.
That's very true. And thank you all so much for joining us for this edition of the Deep Dive. We really hope you found this conversation useful. If you did, please do think about subscribing to Westferry Times and maybe share this deep dive with others who might be interested. Regardless of how you personally feel about the monarchy, these discussions, they really do connect to bigger questions about our society, our history, and the values we want to carry forward. Until our next deep dive, goodbye.
Goodbye.